What is going on, everyone? This is Greg Helbeck, and this is this week's weekly deal breakdown. Today I'm going to talk about a property that I bought and sold in Walden, New York on Donner Drive. This was an old deal, but I did never mention it on these videos. It's actually a really good deal. So long story short, deal came in off a direct mail campaign. I got a lead from a seller back when I was a one-man show. This is before I hired my assistant. And she was motivated. She lived in Texas. The house was vacant. It needed a ton of work. She owed taxes. She owed a mortgage, this, that, and the other. The ideal motivated seller. She needed to sell this property right away. Long story short, made her an offer. She accepted the offer, and I wholesaled the property to a friend of mine for a pretty good wholesale fee. I believe it was like 35 or 40 grand, if my memory serves me right. And the way that I found the buyer was through my email list. And I could have just texted my buddy, but I figured I'd send it out to the email list. Got a ton of interest, sold it to my buddy. He bought the house for me. We did a double closing, so I actually bought the house first and then resold it to him second, and turned into a good payday. I actually went to this property. I turned around and I physically made an appearance at this property. She wasn't living there, but I wanted to check it out myself, so I actually went there and checked it out. Needed a ton of work. It was a total disaster inside, and the investor who bought it from me ended up selling it for a great profit and did really well on it. So why did I tell you this story? Why did I tell you about this specific deal? I want to tell you some of the lessons that I learned on this deal. Number one, in this business, your income is directly proportional to your ability to solve problems, right? And solving problems in this business is the way that you make money, right? So when the lady called me, I didn't have to be the best salesperson in the world. Listen, I'm a pretty good salesperson. I'm not going to lie. I know what I'm doing. However, she came to me with a problem, and I proposed her a solution. She didn't want to make a killing on this property. She wanted to get it paid off. She wanted to get all the debts cleared away, and she wanted to put a little bit of money in her pocket, and I was able to do exactly what she wanted. And fortunately, there was enough equity in the deal left over to where I can make a big wholesale profit and everyone wins, right? So you need to understand you're not a house buyer. You're a problem solver who happens to buy houses. That's lesson number one. Lesson number two, dealing with cash buyers is a process, and you need to understand as a wholesaler when you can make a lot of money and when you might not make a lot of money on a wholesale deal. So in this scenario, I ended up selling it to my buddy, made a lot of money on it. But that was because I had options on this deal. I did not need to sell it to that buyer. I could have sold it to another buyer. I also could have bought it myself because it was a great deal. So if you're a wholesaler and you want to make a lot of money on properties, the more options you have, whether that's multiple buyers, whether that's you potentially closing on it yourself, will really determine how much money you can make on a wholesale deal. Because if you put a wholesale deal out and it's not, the offers you're getting are not what you want and you still want to close on it, you can buy it yourself and you can do the work yourself, or you can clean it out yourself and put it back on the market and hopefully make a good profit. In this scenario, I was able to buy it cheap enough to where I had someone who wanted to pay me a great wholesale fee because the deal still made sense. So that's how we maxed that property out on a wholesale basis. And those are the lessons I learned on this deal, right? So at the end of the day, you need to be a problem solver. And if you want to make a lot of money on wholesale deals, you need to have multiple options. If you get yourself in a scenario where you have one buyer and you don't want to close on it yourself, well, guess what? You're SOL, because at the end of the day, if that buyer doesn't want to pay what you're asking, what are you going to do, right? So hopefully you got some value from this. If you did, if you can like the video and subscribe, if you could subscribe to my channel and like the video, it would mean a lot. If you can subscribe to the channel and like the video, it would really be appreciated. And if you want a JV deal with me, whether you're in the Hudson Valley or you're in Delaware, or honestly, if you're anywhere, if you need help closing your deals, reach out to me, greg@velocityhousebuyers.com. I would love to do deals with you. So hopefully you got value from this. If you did, let me know, and I will see you on the next video. Make sure you email me if you want to do deals, greg@velocityhousebuyers.com.